Yeah.
With all that we have given them, we
Stanley
should own perhaps at least one half of this asset.
Smart,
The revenues generated because of it.
Coors Light philosopher.
And it's not it, just take out the Obama race part. Why the fuck is the president of the United States hosting cartoons?
Stanley walked tall with a paperback brain. Quotes
well, I don't know what it was, but the thing is that if you ever go and you kind of read these people's biographies,
fearing his shoes, library brave.
Whew, the MAGA blacks, you get a bunch of MAGA blacks. That's what you get out of it, President. You get MAGA blacks who will put. I'm a drunk old man with a head shaped like a shroom. And then the other thing we've forgotten is brevity. That's the main lesson I learned today. And I know
I'm Stanley, bitch.
Is an Australian Shepherd and Poodle mix. Hello, Koa. Are you getting your first bath today? Yeah, you're going to be sad about it. All right. Okay, it's okay. No panicking. Let's not panic. Come here. You're okay. Yeah, you're fine. And to start, I am just going to pour the water on her like this in the hopes that I don't freak her out too much. See there. Now, Koa is mixed with an Australian Shepherd and then a Doodle. So an Australian Shepherd Poodle mix. So she has far more Aussie Shepherd in her than she does Poodle. Although I do see the Poodle in her face. Her snout is very narrow. I see it a little bit there. What a good puppy. What a good pup. Oh, you're a good pup. She actually smells really good. So since this is her first grooming, I don't want to scare her too much. So I'm going to leave her face untouched. I am going to use Nasty Critter today because Nasty Critter is safe for puppies. Good girl. I'm going to add a little bit more water to help dilute it. What a good pup. I think you're going to be a very good dog. It's hard to say what kind of coat she will have. I think she will have more of the Australian Shepherd coat, and she will probably shed. But I do think it'll be a little bit different from the pure Aussie coat. Maybe a little bit thicker or a little bit more curly when she's an adult. Oh, we are staying in the shower. No. For rinsing purposes, I am going to use the nozzle just because I want to make sure I get all of the product out of the coat, and using a cup is not really suffice. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. I did try offering her treats already, and she would not take any. She's a little bit too nervous. Okay, just a little bit with this. Just a little bit with this, and then I'll go back to using the cup. But the cup is not really ideal. You're okay. Cup it is, I guess. Koa, this back foot is full of soap. This back leg here. You gotta stay there. No, 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 no. Okay. Okay, I have no choice. I have to use this. You're too full of soap. Sorry, girl. Sorry, but you're covered in soap. Are you a tad bit pathetic? Okay, stay here. You're fine. You're not gonna like the dryer. You're okay. See, you survived. Okay, ma'am. You're gonna hate the dryer. Good girl. Put the dryer on low. You are definitely going to panic. Stay there. Good girl. Good girl. Oh. Oh. Panic. Panic. All right, I'm coming. Since she isn't okay with the high velocity, let's see what happens when I turn this one on. Okay. It's okay. Good girl. There we go. No. I'm back. It's okay. Come on my lap. Come here. There we go. Stay here. There you go. You're okay. Good girl. Good girl, Koa. Good girl, Koa. Good girl, Koa. Did you put this foot up here? Oh no. Okay, you're leaving. Good girl. Very good girl. Very good girl. Okay, so little puppy is still damp, but little puppy is also very scared of the dryer. So since it is literally 30 degrees today, which is very, very hot, I don't think it's necessary to force her through the dry until she's dry, because I'm gonna let her outside and she's gonna run around and she's gonna get dry real fast anyways. Okay. Now I just need to clip your little nails, little princess. That we do have to do because they are little daggers. Stay there. Oh, little pup. Okay, I must see your nails. Oh, thanks. Okay, can I distract you? Don't, stay down. Oh. Good girl.
That is almost That is almost a Lassie quality. That's a Lassie quality whine and rough. Good for her. And no, don't have time for a puppy, unfortunately. 12th man. I wish I could. Everyone needs a puppy. Well, I've had a puppy or two in my life. Don't need one now. And let's see here. What's up, Imperious? Hey, Mackenzie. Good for you. Good to see you, ma'am. To be honest. Let's see. Richard, salute. Hey, look, by the way, because Richard, I kind of feel bad. Look, I thought I knew I wasn't going to do a show yesterday once my father-in-law got here. And then today it just, I don't get family here too often. My son's here. We just did things and um so my bad. But I did forewarn families in town. May do a show tomorrow, may not. But I was on Nidish's show earlier and it just became like just dude, I get so fucking disappointed sometimes. Um and I'm not gonna go into details, but it's like goddamn. This shit just depresses me. So that's why I'm playing the puppy video right now to cheer me up.
No, no, no. No, stay. Good girl. Okay, now I gotta do this side. Good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. Oh. Good girl. Okay, one more foot. No, no, no. You cannot climb all over me like a little monkey. Good girl. Oh, stop it. Come here. Come here. Give you a spray.
Yeah, that she is
stop
a
trying to climb on me.
pie.
You scratched my face.
She is so cute.
Okay, now I'm going to take little puppy outside to play.
Really?
If you liked this video, you can support the channel and more complimentary grooms just like Koa's by hitting that subscribe button, leaving a comment, and sharing with all of your friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this adorable puppy, and I will see you again in a few days.
All right, so welcome to Stanley versus the World. I guess I need to add pop-up to it if there's enough room. But I'm glad to see you. Don't know if this will be a long show or a short show. I have things I want to watch. It's gonna be, of course, too political, but lightly so. I've pinned the link. I don't have a direction for this show. There is no firm hand on this tiller. It'll just go where the tides and the wind will take us. So feel free to come up and change the damn topic. Everyone, please make sure you hit the like button because I forgot to put up a poll. Like, hit the like button, y'all. And if you're new to the channel, boy, are you going to be disappointed. It is going to be a meander. It is literally, this show has no direction. It'll just go. And let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. Sovereign Beer Fund is open. Please feel free to invest. But I'm a little ahead of you. I've already started. So anyone who wants to hit the link, fine. I am going to go here, and y'all will just have to hang on. And we will have to jump through that. Ooh. There we go. And I rarely listen to Yvette Carnell, but Fred said it was well, he put it in a Discord that we both are on, so might be worth watching.
What is going on, fam? How are you all doing on this Wednesday? Oh, wait. Listen, it's a lot going on. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you want to be a part of something political and not just a podcast, go to joinados.com. If you have not done that already, please subscribe, all of that good stuff. Hey, we got to talk about something. If y'all know me, and most of y'all do, then y'all know something. Oh, you know somebody. What you know is that one of the things I have always kind of gotten annoyed with is the idea that the only things we have contributed to in this country have been culture. Yes, we are the foundation of the music, rock and roll, R&B, whatever you want to do, we did it. Nobody did it better than Tina Turner and Little Richie. But the other thing I want to say is this. We have been the foundation of this country's democracy.
Oh, hey, 12th man.
Hey, Stanley. I'm glad you had fun with your family, bro.
Oh, I didn't say I had fun. I said they were here.
Oh,
There
so
is a difference.
you didn't
But no,
enjoy it?
It was pleasant.
Okay. Well, there
Well,
you
my
go.
son's here for, spring break. It will be a journey, but no, it's just kind of weird because you got to clean up and you got to cook, and so it's
Right.
not that I'm not having fun. It's just there's certain responsibilities. You
Could
can't
be a
let
lot
your-
on an old man, huh, Stanley? Once you get all kind of people around.
Well, that's why my son's here. I had to mention that. Oh, hey, there are things you need to do, and it's been fine. But
Right on.
I don't know. It's I live alone for like 90% of the time, so it takes a day or so to get used to even people being here. You know about that. You live in Alaska.
Yeah, I was just sitting here earlier today, and I put up a third of an acre for sale that I'd like to get rid of to catch up on some debt. And
Right.
just out of the blue, this guy shows up, and I'm just laying in here with my dog. And all of a sudden, he starts going berserk, and I'm just rewatching the Super Bowl, kicking back, kind of reveling in the Seahawks. And all of a sudden, this big old son bitch out of nowhere shows up, but it ended up being all good. He's just an old guy looking for a place to park a 16-foot camper, and so hopefully we can do business.
Right. Well, let's get back to this video.
It's experiment in democracy. Now, democracy didn't really happen in earnest.
Oh, you know what?
Everybody.
Whilst I'm thinking about this, dude, I don't know where to go, but I just listened to about 88 versions of 88 versions of American history, and none of them documented. I feel some disappointment. Sometimes complicated points take a couple minutes to explain, and I got a whole lot of land your plane little clip things, very unpleasant. The YNs are winning. The old YNs are winning, for that matter. So I'll get into that later. And
What do you mean by that?
if you could mute, I hear you chewing.
No, it's my tobacco bag. My bad, Stanley.
Well, no, I look. People don't know American history. That's pretty much my point.
Until
Well,
it
you
happened for
certainly
us.
know it
And that was
better than I do.
And American history is not rocket science. Anyone can know it. It's not a special thing. And in a way, well, let's listen to a little bit. By the way, this is We Beat Jim Crow and Saved Democracy, then racists lost it. In a way,
Hmm.
she's right, but it's a little rhetorical. But you can make the
Okay,
argument.
because of a
let's
movement
listen
that
to
we
it.
led. Now, civil rights movement. It wasn't called. It expanded rights for everybody. I want everybody to pay attention because that's called expanding democracy. When you, through your movement, when us little Negroes, when our civil rights, and we had multiple civil rights movements in this country, it wasn't just King, we had multiple civil rights movements where we worked to expand, and finally, the Voting Rights Act, right? And it expanded democracy for women. It led to expanded democracy and entrance into America for immigrants. It led it to expanded democracy for all kinds of groups and all kinds of people. We made democracy real in this country. So when we talk about our contributions to America, they are intellectual, they are cultural, but we made democracy. White folk, especially racist white folk, stood in the way of democracy, and it's on the left and the right.
This is bad history. It's way more complicated than what she's saying. And she's disappointing me too.
And that's something that I want to demonstrate, that this is on the left and the right, because a lot of people were not calling us the N-word, but they also were not marching with us to expand democracy. And the thing that you didn't understand, white folk, the thing that you did not understand was that getting in the way of our democracy and always fighting so that we had less would never work and would never mean that you had more. So you thought you were just going to exclude us from democracy and you would have the democracy just for you, not understanding if you don't expand the institution, nobody gets it. You have played yourself. And what am I talking about? I want to show y'all something that came out today that is very important. I'm going to bring it up right now. I want to show it to you because it's very important. And it's called the unraveling of the democratic era. Is saying that we had our most democracy globally in like 1976. After that, we have seen a steady decline in democracy. Now, when we speak specifically about America, I want to show y'all a chart real quick. I know people are still flowing in. Get your libation, but don't get too much. People got to go to work. People got stuff to do. See, this chart makes and this from this study, it makes a specific case. You see how when you talk about democracy, we're talking about here, what you see is that democracy don't really start to take root in America until the 60s. What's happening in the 60s, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening in the 60s? It is the latest.
I actually understand her point now. She should tack on multiracial democracy. See, the weird thing about democracy is it really has to do with who can vote and elect government or leadership. So she'd do herself a favor by saying multiracial democracy. She's right about that. I actually get her point now that she started talking about the VRA and all that. I think she could craft the words better.
iteration of the civil rights movement that was led by Adolf. After that, you see democracy climb and climb and climb until it falls off a cliff. Right? Go all the way over. That's going to take you to Trump. We did that. Democracy in this country is a project of the American descendants of slavery. Democracy in this country is a freedom project that we have been engaged in for a number of years. This is our project, ladies and gentlemen. We brought freedom and democracy to America when we fought for it ourselves. And these people are now realizing what they are now having to come to terms with is that by denying us the largesse of democracy, you have denied it to yourself. The reason it's so easy for Trump to go and do all the Project 2025 stuff he did, and then they talking about he might take over the midterms. The reason all of that is so easy is because America has always fought against democracy as an institution so that we would not have full access to it. And we saw that recently with the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. And you know why nobody got mad? And you know why nobody got upset when the Voting Rights Act got gutted? And we heard about it on the news and stuff. But you know why that wasn't the priority of the Democratic Party, even though they talked about it and campaigned about it in black neighborhoods, because they considered it a Negro issue. See, if you don't want white folks to do, white folks say, I don't have no problem voting. And on the left and the right, I didn't see a bunch of enthusiasm for it. And now they act like they don't understand. Well, we really don't understand what happened. We are sliding. Ladies and gentlemen, we are
you know what?
Every little
oddly
white
enough, don't really
pencil-headed
give
pundit.
a fuck about this. I need a break from politics, apparently. So I'm gonna do an audible.
Well, she didn't get that we are a republic with checks and balances.
Okay, don't.
We're not a
do that.
democracy.
No, you don't understand her argument. Don't go there.
Yes, I know my argument.
No, you literally don't understand her argument. Democratic republics, a republic is a form of democracy. Do not go there. Just hold your tongue. We can talk about it later.
We are not a democracy.
Okay, dude, you don't understand her argument. You don't understand political science. Really? Why do you think you're right about it? Okay, motherfucker, I'm talking right now. Why do you think that you're right about this? What have you read to support your argument? Give me authors.
The founding document.
Give me anything other than your opinion.
Any of the founding documents. You cannot find the word democracy in. Show
That's
me
not how
where democracy
works. Dude, have you ever heard of Andrew Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Start with Andrew Jackson. Read a history of Andrew Jackson, and you will understand the democracy argument.
He did not write the founding document.
Seriously. Read that history, and then we can talk.
You cannot find the word democracy.
I'm literally going to beg you. The founding documents don't have anything to do with democracy. Okay, God damn it, dude. I'm going to have to put you in the back because you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Andrew Jackson made the republic a little bit more democratized. Dude, the argument about federalism, anti-federalism, dude, Andrew Jackson, under the Andrew Jackson administration, they got rid of property owners only voting. That's what they mean by it's more democratic. You remember that part about the goddamn founding documents?
Property taxpayers.
Okay, bitch, I'm talking. everyone could vote, at least if you were white and male, property owner or not. That's what they mean by the more democratic. Come on, 12th man. Why do I know this and you don't?
Well,
Stop
to me,
talking. Stop talking about the republic versus democracy. A republic is a form of
okay,
democracy. It's a representative democracy. But the point, which, by the way, Yvette Carnell, she's not doing enough detail for my taste. But the bottom line is Andrew Jackson democratized it. Stop it.
yeah, unfortunately,
Okay, I'm
only
literally unamused.
only taxpayers and property owners
I don't give a
should be
fuck about taxpayers.
allowed to vote.
Okay, incremental taxes under Lincoln. You just don't know the history, sir. Stop it. Seriously, don't. You're just giving me a headache. I've already been with stupid goddamn people who don't know American history. Are you just going to do that too?
I don't want to give you a headache, Stanley.
Good. Well, let's watch Peter Santinella.
Out there. It's cold. You're like in the jungle. These people have been here for generations. And I watch you all the time on YouTube. Are you serious? Stop it, bro. Stop it. You stop it. So if I came here on my own, I might have had a different response. There's a whole soft shell crab in the sandwich.
Nice and crunchy. You talk about good. Yeah, but everybody close it.
That's a genuine big cypress swamp buggy. This tree represents wisdom.
Yeah, so much money, man. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars
A month?
Oh,
Steve's giving us a little ride here. The smallest post office in America. Can I poke the camera to show what this office is like? Oh, a big alligator right there. You want to go look? Gallery out in the middle of the Everglades. Legendary photographer known all over the world. People would think, why live in the middle of a hot swamp? But
When you figure that one out.
here we are in the big cypress.
The Everglades, most people don't go to, right?
Yes.
What I really want to tap into today, Harrison, is we have this beautiful nature.
Yep.
It's way bigger of a scale than most people know.
Yes.
And there are a few people that have sort of made a life out here.
Made the cypress their life. And actually, you know, the designation of the cypress as a preserve is a big part of the history and why the people are here. Because when Everglades National Park became a national park in 1947, hunting and any commercial use of the land was outlawed. And obviously, you know, with all the good that came of that, there was also the bad and the people that couldn't live off the land anymore. Whereas the big cypress, it's still preserved that way. People can still hunt and use the land. The natives who live here and we're going to meet today still use it that way.
And when you go Google Earth here, put the blue line street view on.
None.
South Florida, in this area, you see nothing.
Nothing.
It's like it looks like the West.
Yes.
Like Montana, Arizona, or something.
Something like that. And if you told a bunch of people in Dade County, oh, you know, you can drive dirt roads, they're like, dirt roads? I've never been on a dirt road in my life. The reason that these trails are like this is actually from when they tried to sabotage the place before it was designated as a preserve. The lumber companies came in here and were cutting. All these old trails are just remnants of that.
Let's see if we can get into this.
It was only a matter of time, huh? Look, remnants of a coral reef when Florida and this part was all underwater before the last ice age, and you're like in the jungle, and that's, you can start to see here why they call this the Amazon of the Americas. Look at that.
There's some people out here that have lived their whole lives,
And they
different subculture.
Yes, these people have been here for generations. Don't know much about Copeland, but let's explore. We're literally inside of the cypress, so all these people who live here might expect to see a panther in their yard.
A Florida panther.
A Florida panther, one of the very...
Oh, can you stop here? I'm going to ask this guy.
Yeah.
Morning, sir. You see any Florida panthers out here?
A lot of beer.
A lot of bear. We're making a video on the whole area. I just want to talk to locals.
Yeah. I've been down here ever since 1965.
How many people live out here in this community?
Well, I say about 250.
250.
Everybody know everyone.
And it's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
That's cool. What's your name?
Billy.
Billy. Peter.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Harrison, nice
Billy.
to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
This town here was a work camp. This was a logging camp.
Logging camp.
Yeah. Back in the 20s, 27, 19, 1800 something. They cut all the cypress out this camp. Cut all the cypress out.
Okay.
You know, white lightning and all that. The drug smuggling.
Well, you know, down in I don't know about Florida so much, but it has to have been the same. Dude, there were you know, these pine trees in South Georgia. You know, there were turpentine farms, like it was a whole industry. So yeah, it could be brutal. And if you knew anything about Jim Crow, you'd know about this sort of stuff.
And all that. They made a movie out there.
How do you remember that back in the day here, the drug smuggling?
Yeah,
Big time?
big time.
What was it?
It was everything they can get from cross from Colombia. Stop up offshore about 35 miles offshore and unload the mothership and then the boat, the cigar boat bringing in.
When was that happening?
That happened for a long time. I was catching mullets, fishing. I was mullet fishing.
Oh, cool.
Natasha, this, I'm not sure I agree with this. Do you know who Paul Lawrence Dunbar is? Look up Tom. Well, you know what? I guess I could do it here myself. I don't agree that captions can be racist. Number one, it's mostly AI. And people have been doing dialects forever. And Zora Neale Hurston did it too. You know, this dialect in American literature have been around forever. Let's see, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So look at this. Oop. And of course, I did not do this. So here's the deal. Much of Dunbar's work in his lifetime was written in the Negro dialect associated with the antebellum South, though he also used the Midwestern regional dialect of James Whitcomb Riley. No idea who that is. But dialect is not a sin. So I will pretty much just disagree with you on that point. Phonetic spelling.
Yes, Stanley.
Hold on. Hooked on phonics. You want to do this kind of, you know, mostly for kids, to be honest. Or, dude, I don't always remember. You know, my mother's family is from the Sea Islands of South Carolina. Before when I was a kid, I didn't understand those people. You know, you just kind of grow to learn to understand. So we disagree, but it's a gentle disagreement. What do you have to say, 12th man?
Well, I'm surprised you don't have as much of a Southern accent. You know how black folks got like a Southern accent.
Well, you're losing me right there. So white folks don't have a Southern accent?
Yeah, I have a Southern accent.
What the fuck?
So
help me out here.
But
so
you
black
sound
folks in the South have.
Well, I'm surprised you don't talk more Southern than you do.
Why would you be surprised, 12th man?
Well, probably because you're more educated than a lot of people, probably.
So, have you ever heard of Jamie Kennedy from senator from Louisiana?
Name sounds familiar, but no.
Okay, let me help you out. Because this dude's Vanderbilt in either Harvard Law School or Yale Law School. Tell me what you think of this.
Can't wait to
I
hear.
don't know whether you don't watch a lot of news. I've never been able to understand how people can think black people. I'm surprised that black people don't have a southern accent. Well, you do realize that black people
Well,
don't
you
really live in the
don't,
South, right? Yes, and why would you be surprised?
because you live in the South. You grew up down
I'm from
there,
the South. I'm from the South.
but you don't talk like it.
I had a very expensive education in
Yeah.
the South.
See? Thank you. That's what I already said.
Okay, but I have a Southern accent. It's a little bit, if I had to put I don't have to have a twang. You can have a Southern accent and not have a twang. By the way, another interesting linguistic thing, the Southern accent, like the proper Southern accent, is closer to an English accent than any other accent in the United States. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that actually.
Good. So, there are times when, there are English accents, the really posh accents that you actually, it sounds rather American to a Southerner. The only thing is the vowels tend to be a little bit more less flat. You you should take a language class one day. Um
Well, I graduated at the top of my class in English.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's watch this. This is Vanderbilt and either Yale Law or Harvard Law. I can't remember. Let me make sure we can see it. There we go. So tell me, are you surprised he has a Southern accent? This is just so annoying when people do that sort of shit.
Is Mr. John Lowry, one of my colleagues from my office. As you know, Mr. President, Democrats and Republicans in the United States Congress have a dispute over funding for the Department of Homeland Security. And it's such a serious dispute that department is shut down.
Well, do you know who Jamie Kennedy is?
Yeah.
So are you surprised at his accent?
Not really.
Why
I
not?
was just
Why not?
because
is the
he's a
question.
typical Southern boy. What the hell?
So blacks can't be typical Southern boys, or blacks can't be typical Northern boys. Sometimes these random dumb comments are problematic.
Well, who
So
cares
this
how
dude,
someone talks?
this dude's a Harvard trained or Yale trained lawyer, and he's got he sounds more black than I do.
Does it
Would you
really
agree with
matter
that, or
how
do you?
someone?
Okay,
Does
well,
it really matter
motherfucker,
how
why did you
someone
bring it
talks?
up? If it doesn't
What?
matter, why'd you even
No,
bring
you
it up?
brought it up,
Okay,
motherfucker.
no, I'm sorry, I did not bring it up. You said you're surprised about, you don't hear my
What?
Southern
You
accent.
brought up
Okay,
linguistics.
this is what I'm going to do. So you can rewind this. This is the second goddamn time tonight that people get so goddamn drunk on a panel, they don't remember what they said. Dude, we would not be talking about Jamie Kennedy or accents at all if you had not brought it up. I'm sorry if you can't keep a couple, thoughts in your head or remember. No, I did not bring up Southern accents at all. You did.
You brought up linguistics.
And
And
why would I bring up linguistics 12th man?
well, you did. Ask yourself that.
Why would I bring up linguistics 12th man?
Evidently, you have a problem with
Did
the
I
way some
goddamn bring
people talk.
language up or accents up?
I think you did early.
Good night, 12th man.
I have to
I
go
think
back
I've had
and
enough.
watch.
Dude, I've had enough. Just shut the fuck up or leave. God damn it, dude. Why would I be talking about linguistics just out of the blue? And it was Mackenzie. Well, I'm sorry, Natasha, who got up, talking about
Now, she had a southern black accent.
no, what you
That
need to
first
do.
woman
No, I'm
you
not
brought up.
interested. I'm not interested in any of that. Natasha brought up captions. Brought up, dialect and spelled out language. Most of the captions, at least on YouTube, are AI. But,
Right.
we have taught reading by phonetics, where you kind of spell out, even if it's the wrong spelling. You are the one who brought up, well, Stanley, I'm surprised you don't have more of a Southern accent. And I think you're a racist. So I'm pretty much like, well, why would you even care
That
about
was
accent?
a compliment, motherfucker.
Okay, well, motherfucker, it's racist. Black people sound like all kinds of things. Just because you haven't met a lot of black people in different places, it's racist. What
Oh,
should black
really?
people, okay, bitch, what should black people sound like?
Well, like the girl in the
Okay,
first video you
motherfucker,
brought up.
I'm really spinning up. Tell me what black people should sound like. Don't bring up anecdotes or examples. What should black people sound like to you, 12th man?
Well, I'm glad you're educated. That's all I'll say. I'll
And
leave it
you
at that.
can't see, you like all the other goddamn idiots, old YNs, old rednecks. Dude, I ask you a simple question and you want to dodge it. What should black people sound like? Me or Jamie Kennedy? What should black people sound like?
Oh no, I guess that was
Okay,
a
you
dumb
don't
statement.
know. That's the best answer you could possibly give. You don't know. So
I think they should sound
stop
like you.
telling people what they should sound like of any sort. Dude, oh,
Sound more like you,
I
Stanley.
didn't expect you to sound so proper. Motherfucker. Dude, be more quiet and listen more and just damn, dude. This is 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make plenty of money off of mother. I didn't know what they were doing. It didn't really matter to me because it was none of my business.
So a lot of people were making a lot of money out here with the smuggling.
Yeah, a lot of people. Not only it wasn't the locals, it was people out of town.
Oh, okay.
There were people out of town making all that money. The local ain't made no money. The local just sat back and looked.
That's interesting. So this was a lumber town. It's peaceful, I gotta say. It's sort of, you want to rip off and be away from it all. It's just the camera's not going to capture you guys, unfortunately. But the buffer zone around here is absolutely massive. So this is, in a way, preserved because it's surrounded by these parks.
Yes, yeah, and I don't
There's no development that's going to happen out here.
I would have liked to ask Billy if he thinks as a resident if they're ever gonna, overtake the.
What's that? We're making a video looking for panthers.
You ain't gonna see one right now, bro.
No.
Man, I watch you all the time on YouTube.
Are you serious?
Stop it, bro.
Stop it. You
Yes,
stop
sir.
it.
Yes,
You
I
stop
do,
it.
man. That's what's up. I do, bro.
Well, you cool with me rolling the camera?
That's what's up, bro. I
Yeah.
see you
Okay.
all the time in your
What are you
car,
doing
man.
out here? What are you
I
doing
live
out
right
here?
here, bro?
In the tent.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
I'm Brian.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
How'd you end up out here?
My whole life, bro. My
Seriously?
family. Seriously. I got another guy you'd probably be interested in talking to. Is my uncle. He's a woodsman. He knows all about this stuff, man. He tell
Can
you
we
a lot
talk
of
to Wisman?
things, and-
Yeah, let's go talk to Wisman.
Cool, man. We're just sitting there talking and stuff, and a panther just come right out on his little dock, you know, probably from here to the car away from us. And young one. And I was like, what's up with that, man? He's like, he's been coming out pretty recent, man, you know, and pretty regular. I know, you know, so we're really not allowed to feed them and stuff. So
How the
but it was
dog's
pretty
doing
good
with the
experience,
panthers?
You know, we look at them. Oh, they get at each other. The panther don't really bother him. You know, he likes the little things, the cats and the chickens. But they're pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man.
So if I came here on my own, I might have had a different response.
Oh yeah, nah. That's a joke. Hey, old Scott.
You never know what you're gonna get
Sleeping?
into.
All right, sorry about that. I'll see you at the wall.
We just talked to Billy.
McFadden, the old black guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Good
nice
guy.
guy.
So living out here,
Yes,
just
sir.
separated from the world feeling.
Basically, it is a little different. I mean, seems a little more freedom, maybe I should say. You know, you don't really get bothered by many people unless you act a fool. I mean, it's freedom, bro. What you see is what it is. You know?
All right,
Everybody knows everybody. It reminds me of the old days, you know, where you can go to your neighbor and borrow an egg. And nowadays, you go to the city, they'll shut the door on you or won't answer, you know.
You
A
know
little
what?
different, but,
That's
yeah, man, it's
actually
pretty
funny.
Cool. I'd like to take you guys some.
Really?
That dude is a fucking meth head.
Uncle Fatty for the win. I don't. God damn it! That's gonna be a show title if I can fit it in. That dude, that is so funny. Good for you.
I'm gonna show you more. I'm gonna close this gate here, my uncle's gate, and then I'm gonna go find my brother, and we're gonna show you some good videos.
Where's your brother?
He's right across the way.
We're gonna follow you to see your brother.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay. How you doing, sir?
He's good fucking people, man. I watch
Yeah.
people all the time.
How you
I
doing?
can show you some of his vlogs. and
What's your
shit
name?
when we're done.
Vince. Yeah, Peter.
Good people.
So Vince, you grew up out here,
Small towns, you know.
small town.
About the animals, bears and panthers.
Bears. Well, we had a bear attack a little while back.
An attack?
A
Actually,
bear
ate
went in a
somebody.
guy's house and took him out of it. An old man.
The 89-year-old.
Ate him,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh,
Remember that?
I don't know if the old man was feeding the bear or not, or what was going on. You know what I mean? It's that's the worst thing in the world you can do is feed one. You know what I mean? Feed anything.
Yeah,
You don't if you don't want it around. You know,
I'm gonna have him bring one.
What?
A python.
He's bringing a python.
I want to see a python. I would love
Did
to.
you know about this place, Marcel?
I knew about Copeland. I didn't know that we would be able to meet so many friends here. You told me Toch was your uncle. I had been, Toch's book is my favorite book I've ever read, hands down. I know that sounds crazy, but
Who's Toch?
Toch was a Chukaleski legend. He was born in 1920. He died in 1996. He was a fisherman. He was a Medal of Honor recipient.
yeah.
He lived off smuggler. He lived off the land. I mean, a true polymath of this corner of the world. Right?
Gator hunter.
Gator hunter. All of
That's
it.
probably the biggest thing you did. with
And
gator
just,
hunting.
I love the way his book was written in black and white. Like this happened, this happened, this
Yeah.
happened. So you knew there was nothing but just facts. And
Yeah.
the way he approached life with this fearlessness and then this love for the openness, I just deeply resonates with me.
Toch was one of the true pioneers of the modern day out
he was
here.
definitely a pioneer of everybody.
Yeah, and his family too.
And so he got into the smuggling big time.
Yeah, he's
That-
got us. He's the way he got my dad into it. And, yeah,
That was
Yeah,
huge
it
out
was-
here.
yeah, in the 80s, in the late 70s and 80s.
83 was the
smuggling,
blockade, right?
smuggling marijuana on shrimp boats.
From where was the marijuana coming from?
Mostly Colombia, but Jamaica,
And then coming right off the shore
Yeah,
here.
they come right offshore here.
Well, let me just remind everybody, because I forgot to actually do a poll. Everybody, please make sure you hit the like button. If you are new to this show, it can be interesting, and I'll leave it at that. Find it interesting, stay. Don't find it interesting, go. And no harm, no foul. I have forgotten to talk about all the folks who have brought this travesty. So here we it's my time in 12th man. Please contribute to the Sovereign Beer Fund. It can only make this show less boring, not necessarily more fun, but less boring. So there we go.
Oh, you're not
Yeah.
boring, Stanley, or I wouldn't be here.
Well, that is high praise. So and as I said, I don't know where this show's gonna go, but y'all hit the link if you want.
And then we get we call them the go fast boats, like 24-foot Morgans, and with 2 engines on them. They could go out there and get them and bring them up creeks and just put them on vans and take it down the highway. I was like 14, 15 years old when all this was going on. You know, I was just a kid. I started smoking. It was just fun. We had all the money we wanted. You know what I mean? We had anything we wanted. We wanted a new motorcycle or something. Just went and got it. It was just, and then we run out of money. We're all sitting there like, oh God.
like what's the
Full
replacement?
rotten.
What's the replacement economy out here? There's nothing really. Huh?
Nothing. You go back fishing.
Okay, so they said come to the backside of this house.
Yeah, it looks like a compound in here. Stay out, my truck. Ain't nothing but a beer tank.
Well, guys, we're far out there. We're gonna get back to the nature, though.
Yeah.
But look, this is an interesting
A little
part of the state, the country, the world. Oh my God.
They didn't want to come out.
Bunch of goddamn inbred.
Okay, so what are you doing with the snakes, Wayne?
I've had these guys since they were babies.
Okay, you just like they're pets for you.
Oh yeah. Come here. This one I named Stripe because of the long stripe. This one here is a dwarf. I got him from the neighbor over there. He wasn't taking care of it. $10. I finally talked him out of it for $10.
Pythons?
Yeah, these are ball pythons.
Ball pythons. How big do they get?
They only get 6 foot. This one's full grown. I got them in a big 150-gallon aquarium with logs and everything else and a waterfall and all that in there. It's not easy to get.
Have you lived out here your whole life?
I've been here 30-something years, but I grew up out there.
You love it?
I love it. I've been here all my life. I'm 69 years old right now.
Why do you love it?
Because I'm away from all those crazy people in town. I hate town.
I'm good, Wayne. It's on a shot with me and you.
There you go.
Snakes. There we go.
Yeah, here. Come here, look. Wow. Let's get him over here. I'm getting him closer. I'm getting him closer.
This close is gonna go.
Everybody closer. I started all with
We're on Tamiami Trail now, which connects Miami to Tampa. This was built in 1927. It was the first road that came through out here.
It's like the savannah a little bit, right?
Right. No, for sure. I always tell people, I think, you know, if you took a picture of that in the right light and you told somebody you were in Africa, they might just believe you.
Yeah.
Just missing the lions, you know? Oh, a big alligator right there. You want to go look or not?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. There's one sunbathing. Old night last night. I think lower 40s here. It's warming up. This guy getting some sun. And so I guess they're all along these banks.
Pretty cool. I just noticed actually from here, look, he's missing the back part of his tail there.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. I don't know if the camera's going to catch it, but yeah, he lost it. So, yeah,
must be a good war story. The smallest post office in America, in Ochopee.
Okay, that is for sure. There we go, guys. I've seen a lot of small ones out in the desert west, Utah, Arizona, but this wins. Look at this place. It's like an owl house. Okeechobee Post Office, considered to be the smallest post office in the United States. This building was formerly an irrigation pipe shed belonging to the J.T. Company tomato farm. Okay, so they did tomatoes down here. Hey, how you doing, sir? That's cool. You're a U.S. postal worker. Oh, that's cool, Donald. Can I poke the camera to show what this office is like?
Check it out. It's a cool spot to check out. Heck yeah. My little knickknacks in here.
Oh, that's cool.
People give me over ears because it's such a tiny little.
How many people have a P.O. box here?
Nobody.
Nobody
has P.O. boxes here. No. It's all street delivery. We have a carrier out of here. It's a big area, too. It's not just like right around here where you see a couple buildings. I mean, we go like 50-something miles that way.
Okay.
We go down to the light and out like 20 miles. So
Okay.
it's like a 140-mile round trip every day for the carrier.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's a long gig, but it's pretty nice out here. You can't beat.
Hey, how are you? Remind me your name?
My name is Lisa.
Lisa, it's great to see you. Look at this beautiful day we're having. Lisa, what's the fun fact of the day?
Fun fact is I don't care. There it is, people.
I like your customer service. See, yeah, you got to write the rules. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. So, what a place.
Look, you have all the different freshwater.
There we go.
Lisa, you want to show them how you do a backflip?
I'm gonna tell you what, I can do it.
No, seriously. Seriously?
I don't want to get in trouble though. Customer made a complaint.
You did it on Saturday.
You did the backflip.
Sorry. The biker that asked me to do it, he brings groups of people. So one day they're all sitting out on the patio. There must be 25, 30 of them. And I did it and they all loved it. So now every time he comes in here, I try to sneak one in every once in a while. I have a little over a month. Somewhere around March 10th, I'm going to be a great grandmother. Wow. I turned 60 on Veterans Day, 11/11. And I wanted to be a great grandmother by the time I was 60, and I got my wish. I'll be a great grandmother somewhere around March 10th.
What's the math on that?
What do you mean on what?
When did you have your first kid?
Yeah.
I had my first child the day I turned 15 and a half.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So
I
it's gotta be
have
divided by
2
4.
kids. I had the second one when I was 31. We're just rambling now, waiting for you.
My hands are freezing.
Great to see
And
you.
he's going to get me in trouble because he won't.
Terry, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hey,
This is your restaurant.
Yes, it was my mom's.
It was your mom.
Yes, she started it.
Oh, very
I
cool.
can't take that credit. This is Gator Joe. He passed away, but he used to sit out on the porch and tell stories of the Everglades. And he would have his panther out there, and he'd jump right back in the canal and fight an alligator.
Out of the backside of the restaurant?
Yes, it didn't matter. Look
Gator
at
Joe.
him. Look at him right there. Got a cigarette between his hands and a stick, and he's in the woods. Okeechobee used to be the dream town to be back in the day. It was going to be bigger than Naples. I mean, there was
Really?
a time out here where there were more people living back in the early 1900s than Naples.
So, Terry, from my understanding, you can't really develop out in these parts too easily. So there are only a few places.
Only what's existing.
Only what's
You can't
existing.
buy property and build anything. This is the Big Cypress National Preserve.
Big Cypress, and then we have Everglades National Park. Nobody's building there.
No,
So you're like in this oasis
I am.
of nature in a crowded state.
Absolutely. My great grandfather and grandfather on my mother's side came out here and bought property out in Everglades City. And we have been coming out since we were babies. Eventually, my mom said, okay, this is enough. I'm done with Miami, Carl. We're going to the Glades. And they bought this in the early 70s. My dad was a mechanic, so he had a gas station, and he was the mechanic out here.
So other than your business there, Joni's, things are sort of going downhill as far as businesses, that sort of thing? Or what's the
Well,
story
there
out
are
here
no
right now?
businesses really out here.
Yeah, okay.
This closed up many years ago when my mom had to pull up all the tanks. She couldn't afford it. She had to get a loan to pull out 6 huge tanks. You know, when they were doing that all back about 30 years ago.
Oh, when they had to change the tanks.
Yes. So it never reopened. And we are now in the process of trying to take care of it and restore it
Okay.
so we don't lose it. Because if you lose the building, you can't rebuild it.
Those are the rules out here.
Yeah, you can't rebuild anything. So we want, this is original. We want to take care of it just like that. That's a work in progress. Always. It's 100 years old.
You got your own world out here.
We do.
So when you think Miami, St.
You can
Peter's.
keep Miami.
Okay.
But where were you born?
I was born in Hialeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
Hialeah had cows in it.
Okay, right.
I mean, it's not like that now. No, pero hablamos en castellano aquí.
Claro, claro, pero con Z. Tú hablas con Z.
Sí, con la teta.
Okay, you're Cuban descent?
See?
I am good old
Gringo.
American
Yeah,
gringo.
but you heard that.
She's-
But I
your
moved
accent
to
sounds
Europe
good.
when I was a young girl, and in Spain, in the Basque Country,
Oh,
and I
okay.
learned Spanish there. And my Spanish is, I don't know,
You have a
a
list?
little more eloquent.
No,
You have a little
It's
list?
Castilian.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you've seen a lot of the world.
Yes. Well,
How is why come back to this? People would think, why live in the middle of a hot swamp?
That's the question.
oh,
Yeah, that's the question.
when you figure that one out,
There's no-
because there is no place like this on earth. There really is not.
How so?
It's just quaint. It's beautiful. It's rough. It's raw.
A lot of people, including myself until recently,
Mhm.
didn't know that Florida was such a frontier. Everyone thinks west.
Oh,
Everyone thinks
know.
western migration, right? But Florida was actually the last. It was after California.
Let me tell you something. When I was reading A Land Remembered, I thought, cowboys tough out west? No, you are not tough until you have roughed the swamps in a hurricane, tying yourself to a tree because you don't know a hurricane's coming. They didn't know when the bad weather was coming. They'd be moving cattle through the swamps with mosquitoes and all those clothes, women included, huh?
What do we got here, Harrison?
So this is a whole soft shell crab, the whole with shell on, fried and in the sandwich. Super fresh.
What do you think, guys?
I'm starting right now, Lisa.
You're gonna love it.
Tell them about that soft shell crab.
I'm gonna tell you something. That ain't nothing but good.
Let me talk about soft shell crab sandwiches. Actually, they're good. Now they're crunchy and it's a little bit of an acquired taste, but you get them young enough and prepared well enough. I've cooked them. When I lived in Norfolk and actually Savannah, you could get them too. It's molting little crabs, and you fry them up hard enough. Yeah, it's crunchy, but it's actually a good sandwich.
Nice and crunchy, good. We batter it real good, but the batter's not thick. You can't pull it off. But you talk about good. Mm-mm. I always suggest to people that you get one soft shell sandwich and one crab cake sandwich. Then you cut them in half and holler switch.
Switch real.
Next time.
There's only. What do you think? First bite analysis.
Afternoon, would you like a couple minutes to finish this over? Let's take care of
Decent.
what you got.
Fantastic. This is really good. Excellent meat. The bun is good. Very soft. Yeah, it's the real deal.
Yeah, look at that.
Grouper, right?
Grouper, yeah. Blackened right out of the Gulf. Delicious. About as good as tasty as a fish as you can get.
What are we coming up on?
Clyde Butcher's Gallery. Legendary photographer known all over the world.
So gallery out in the middle of the Everglades.
Yes, photo gallery. And not just some photos, but the best. Hey, look, there's Clyde as a mailbox. The best kind. So we'll get in there now and we'll delve.
John, you work here at the gallery.
That is correct.
Okay.
And I'm an environmentalist. I've been doing a lot of backpack and hiking here for 35 years. Out here, it's a deciduous coniferous. So the trees are not dead. They've lost their needles.
We're going to get out there too, right?
You are going to go out there and I'm going to show you a vision. If you had a time machine and brought it back 12 to 13,000 years ago, the ocean would be over here. We'd be 100 miles wider.
Okay.
Okay. So we have been like this for about 8,000 years with the vegetation types that we have.
South Florida, Miami's over here.
Correct. And this is what we looked like before people, as far as Caucasians, got involved. Up here is Orlando. And this is Kissimmee River filling the lake. From here to here is 100 miles. The water was so slow from 14 feet of sea level to nothing, it took a year to make the journey. And these islands right here are mountains, which are called hammocks, about 1 meter tall. And then you got bayheads with their kinds of plants, and then the prairies. And then what you have are pinelands where Miami is now. And you've got cypress trees.
Miami?
Miami is what the old timers, if you were to read Land Remembered, and you talked to an old timer and you said Miami, they'd be pissed off. But if you said, edit that. But if you presented this to somebody and you said Miami, they'll smile and be happy.
Isn't it the Miami Indians?
No. Well, Miami's in Ohio. Miami is what the old timers called it here.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so this is the old version.
Correct. This is current.
Okay, here we go.
And they couldn't grow any crops. This is all cropland. 1926, a hurricane came up here, blew water, killed 300. 1928, another unknown hurricane. It came up here, Cat 5, and it killed about 2,500 people. So they built a deck around this, and instead of the water coming here, it comes through here, the Caloosahatchee and the St. Lucie Canal. Okay. So this area here was proposed as a national park by Ernest Coe, the father of the Everglades. And when he proposed it, they thought he was insane. So he brought them down, put them in a Goodyear blimp, flew them over the proposed area, and they were so enamored by it in the 20s, but there was no money in 1930s. We had the Depression. Congress okayed it in 34, but it wasn't until 1947 we became a park because of plants and animals. And no one had ever done that before. Brand new. This out here are mines. They couldn't grow crops there. The crops would not grow. They were absent nutrients. And this is one of the hints. And those are phosphate mines. And the other problem is we're shy on nitrogen. So when they added phosphate and nitrogen, they could grow their plants, but it impacted the rest of us. The rain system that used to be is now different. We're canal driven primarily. And Highway 41 and I-75 are dams.
And we're right around here.
And we are here, correct.
Okay.
And this is the jet port. Now, when Ernest Coe didn't want to come to Everglades City for the dedication in 1947 in December, because they had cut chunks of what the proposed park was. This is just a mere, this is what we get, the leftovers of whatever's above us. But if we got the water here that's been enriched because of phosphate nitrate, it would kill us. So there are areas out here that they've been trying to have settling dams, pretty much areas, and you can have plants that can extract the phosphate nitrate. What I want to show you here is the reason this happened, got cut back, is because of greed. And then Coe wasn't going to come to this dedication, but later on, we did this. This is what happened. This is why we have the Everglades Big Cypress Preserve. Is this? This area here is the jet port. It was a training jet port between Miami-Dade and Collier County, and this is going to have a city of 10 to 100,000 people, and that's why Leon's here, because he was buying land in swampland.
Who's Leon?
Leon Whidden originally owned this facility.
Okay, this property here.
Yeah, the buildings are all on land that he had a footprint on.
Okay. So Clyde Butcher. Who came out here when?
Just before Hurricane Andrew.
When was that? What year?
92, correct.
Okay.
They bought it from Leon, who had bought land because he was speculating that he would make a mint with all the people that were going to live in this area because of the jet port. When Clyde and Nikki came out here, they said, "Man, you're nuts. You think you can build a gallery out here?" They said, "You must have a loose screw somewhere." And there's Loose Screw Sanctuary. So he was being investigated because a lot of drugs ran through the area, and they assumed he was doing something illegal.
Oh.
And they found out over the years that, no, he was perfectly legal and he was perfectly sane. And he's won many awards, from Ansel Adams to national recognition, for the work he has done in showing this environment that is so foreign that most people will stand on the outside looking in. But I have the privilege of taking people into it to show them what it offers.
Okay.
And what it offers is quiet, where you can just take a breath and listening to nothing. You put away all your cell phones. But with me and others, Scott and Connie and Trish, we do walks. You have to live in the moment. Each step determines whether you're successful or not. And some of the people I've worked with are very good at tactile walking. They can feel things. Others, not so much. If you get distracted, you end up falling in, and I grade you by your splash. If you make a big splash, you get less points. I want a clean entry. We have alligators here that tolerate us. They've known us for years, and we don't harass them, and we respect them. So when we get by them, we speak quietly.
Okay.
Mama's got baby gators over here, and everything eats baby alligators. And if the baby alligators are in trouble, they call mom. And she'll come and she'll protect them. Usually male alligators eat them, but she has a relationship with the male alligator here where she actually would guide him away from the babies over the years. And then finally, last year, she was letting them lay on his back.
Okay.
So alligators have different personalities, just to let you know
So
that.
this one,
We're going to go see this one. I'm going to respect her. If I see her, I'll show you. I'll talk quietly. And if we see the babies, it'll be special. A lot of times, this is where it's rented up here. This is where Clyde and Nikki used to live. And now they rent it out. And when you do, you get a visual of the morning. And I call this mental floss. You get your brain cleared because of all the garbage you put up with two-legged animals. The snakes and the gators are cool as long as you're away from the ones that have been fed by people by the road. They're dangerous. And you can't move. A fed gator is a dead gator, so you never feed them because it becomes a problem. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go over here quietly, and we're going to see if Mama's there and her babies. There's Mama. She's pointed this direction in the water.
oh yeah.
Okay, her babies may be by. I'm not going to get in her space.
Yeah.
But that's where she is. And this is where she had her nest. Last year, she had a nest up in trees, but it got raided by a bear. This is where her nest is this year. And this is a alligator egg. And I've never approached this if she was nearby here. That's an alligator egg. And when the eggs are laid, the sex hasn't been determined. What determines the sex of the alligator is the temperature of the nest. It's the opposite of what happens with turtles. So sea turtles are now being hatched that are mostly female, which the question comes in 30, 40 years, it's not going to be, are there going to be males to fertilize them? So you'd assume that's this way. But in this reptile, for alligators, the warm eggs become males, not females.
What about this water? You said it's
The
actually
water
very
here
clean.
we're in the dry season. It is brown because of tannic acid when the leaves decay.
But it's very clean.
Incredibly clean. We're going to have the different senses, and you're going to find out just how clean it is. This has been trod upon to the point that it's
cold.
Oh, well, it's brisk.
Yeah.
If you feel warm, it's either you're hypothermic or somebody urinated by you.
I think the water's nice.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be so clean.
Of course not. See, because you came with baggage. You came with the ideas of what this would represent. I'll tell you more
Swamp
about
baggage?
it. This actually turns out it is called Ladies of the Night. It's a Leon orchid. It has smell only at night, and that's to attract the pollinators, which are moths. This is another orchid right here. If you touch it, it's called Epidendrum rigidum. It's a rigid orchid.
Oh yeah.
Okay, very tactile, right?
Yeah.
All this is food that's on the orchid. This is a pond apple tree. Around Lake Okeechobee, the pond apples were 7, 8 feet diameter. They were huge.
So Clyde and Nikki bought the land, but they've been all over the world, right?
Correct.
Lived many places around the U.S. And why they decide on here?
There are different ways of healing. They had lost their son to a drunk driver.
Okay.
And when they were searching to how to sort their life out, they came here and they found a place that was quiet and away from the populace, and they felt the calmness and the beauty of what they were experiencing. So when they came in here and opened up their photography opportunity and it started getting popular, then they realized that this is something to be shared. And we have a 6th grade program that we do, and I help with the fundraiser, and the people that come here pay money to go on swamp walks on a particular day when Clyde is here. And then the money this year, they made $40,000 from the environmental education program. So any 6th grader in Collier County can go on a swamp walk because of the monies that are made. You are seeing this at a point in time. You know, a picture captures the moment, and it may never be seen again. But what we're going to have a problem with is within 20 years, it's going to look a lot different. This particular tree will be gone, this species.
How do you know?
Because there's something called the ash borer that's eating the ash trees in the Midwest. And as it moves down here, it's going to consume this. This is what we find the predominance of our orchid species on ash trees. So you're seeing this now as it is. It's going to be different. Spongier because it hasn't been disturbed by thousands and thousands of feet.
Yeah, right?
Now look, we're coming after the hat rack current.
Much different zone out here.
What do you feel when you came here? You felt the sponge. Number 2, you felt the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And what you also see is the trees are smaller. then I ask people, why are they smaller trees out here? Many of these are just as old as the big ones we saw. What makes this different?
Less moisture?
Less moisture, less nutrients. So this is going to be completely crunchy dry. And this material here that looks lumpy and uninteresting is the most important aspect of the health of the Everglades right here. If you smell it, it smells so clean, it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
It's not stinky swamp. And that periphyton has over 300 kinds of algae in it that are
Smells like
green
laundry.
algae. They produce oxygen, and they are food for a major animal out here.
Crush it and smell it.
Smell that.
Oh
What does
yeah.
it smell like? You know what? It's called lemon bacopa. Why is it important? You smear it on yourself. No, not this one. Smell that one. I talk to the plants that I don't want to, I just use permission from them. This is something you also be in. That is a mosquito repellent.
Oh, cool.
Okay. This one also is a mosquito eater. It's called bladderwort. And the little bladders that are in here will suck in insects and use it as nitrogen. I want you to see a big cypress tree. You want to see a big cypress tree?
Yeah.
I'll show you one of my beauties. Now, tactile walking, you continue climb. There's things under the water you can't see.
Things under the water you can't see.
You can feel it. Just your gut is telling you.
Don't know if the camera's catching this. It's not fully, obviously, but it is a totally different universe in here. That, you know what, John?
Sure.
You said you lived in the desert for a little bit.
I did.
First impressions, the desert, a lot of people think, there's not much here, right? It's the desert. You give it time, you feel its rhythms, you see the trickles of water between the ravines. It opens up. And I feel like the swamp is the same. You might drive through and say, hey, there's not much here. And then once you go granular, it starts getting very interesting.
Yeah. This tree represents wisdom. It has stood the test of time for hundreds, maybe 1,000, well, hundreds of years. Look at this. This just screams how beautiful this is. Again, the water level would be here, but this cypress has experienced a lot, and it's in the middle, so a dome is very stable. So when winds blow over here, they hold each other together. This is one of my trees. Others have their trees they find it particularly attractive, but I just like the size, and I'd like you guys to stand next to it and give me a cell, and I'll take a picture or whatever you got. I'll take a picture of both you guys standing there.
No, Peter, you get the energy first.
Pretending like you.
How long does he have to stand next to get the energy? He's going.
No, you know what? The Miccosukis and Seminoles, they actually form bands around these trees, and because of the energy they have.
Go ahead.
You are communing with a tree of knowledge. Don't think of it as you can think of it as an ent if you want, from Lord of the Rings. Just the point that these things are incredible creatures, and when they get cut, they don't last anymore. And you and I talked about redwoods earlier.
Yeah.
The redwoods were preserved by the Redwood League, which were evil people. They were cutting redwoods. Why? They wouldn't save them because they were using them for pipes, for wastewater, and that's before they had metal pipes.
And also Transcontinental Railroad.
Oh, you got it. A lot of California was decimated because they were mining, especially in Nevada, for things like silver and gold.
Wow, look at the light. I just love how the
I know.
light plays.
That's the thing. See, that's what I want you to see.
It's cathartic.
You are doing what I like to do with people. I come bring them out here and they close their eyes and it's magic. You just hear your breath, you breathe through your nose slowly. And we have the absence of the traffic. It's primeval.
It's a fantasy land.
It's a connection. So when people go to Disney to see the different hippopotamuses coming out of the river tour and all that stuff, I take them to reality. To try to explain it is very difficult.
Yeah.
The way to understand this is to experience it.
Yeah.
And all of the stereotypes that you have brought with you about the stinking swamp, the quicksand, there's no quicksand out here, about the attacking alligators, which we've seen, all right? All the things back in the 40s, it was the Indians that would take you out, not as a date. It was a final trip. So the things that we bring baggage-wise, I like to remove that baggage and show you what the true connections are out here.
Yeah,
and you can be part of that by, like we just did, and listen to nothing, which is the best.
There's everything in the nothingness,
Correct.
John. All right, so
Here's the legend, Clyde Butcher. And you said this photography is amazing.
Yeah, you have to see it for yourself.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How was the walk?
So cool.
Clyde has been called the Ansel Adams of the Everglades by some. He's traditional large format black and white photography, film prints made in the darkroom, handmade, each handmade.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
So, you know, as a photographer, Clyde's just such a huge inspiration.
You're a photographer also?
Yeah, I have work in here as well.
This is his wife's work?
Yep, this is Nikki Butcher, his wife.
And she does some color.
Yep, so it's black and white photography, and then she hand colors it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, it's got a surreal look to it.
Very traditional Florida colors, like turquoise and pinks and yellows.
Hey, that's really interesting. That's almost 3D. It's like coming to life.
It's unique.
This is all your work, Andy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, that was in my head for a long time, trying to hit this thought of a mangrove with the perfect reflection of the gator.
You're putting your time in out there, then getting shots like this.
Look at that rose.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
The roseate with the babies too.
I love this. Now we're deep in on the dirt roads.
Deep in the Cypress, Turner River Road.
But a few of these places, huh?
Yes, and that is again the key.
Bad dog, he thinks he's a lion.
I bet he does. That's the key difference in the designation, is that there's a lot of homestead camps out here and hunting camps and people still living out here. That's a genuine Big Cypress swamp buggy. Unique vehicles made for this terrain. And they've, if you see these old pictures of them in the 20s and 30s, that have like Model A engines and Model T engines. A lot of them have the tires as tall as you and me, you know?
Oh, nice.
Look at that thing. For the Big Cypress.
Check it out.
Yeah, let's pull over here and check it out.
This is really interesting, guys. It's like Uganda.
Have you been to Uganda?
I have.
Looks like this.
Sort of. Some areas.
Yeah.
Look at this
Do they have
thing.
swamp buggies in Uganda?
I don't think so. This thing is wild. Where the airboats can't go, or what's that all about?
Yeah, the water's deeper and more narrow than the airboats can get through. And then it also does a good job of getting through the drier patches that the airboats can't get to. So it's specific for this environment, you know.
We just saw this buggy and we're like, it's so beautiful out here. Someone's got to come back for it.
It's pretty.
It is. Where does one buy a buggy like this?
You know, you build it.
You built these?
Yeah, you build them.
You found like an old truck chassis?
A friend of mine built this one. Hell, it's 35 years old. We've rolled it over. We got drunk. There's been more deer hanging off of this than most people seen in their lifetime.
Are you from out here?
I'm from Chuckaluskee.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
How's it been?
The earlier life was really better. Things has changed so much with the national parks and stuff. We used to fly free. You know, we used to eat all the game we wanted. We killed deer. We ate manatee. We ate loggerhead turtles, green turtles. We ate white ibis is what they call them. We call them Chuckaluskee chickens, curlew. We enjoyed ourselves. We didn't have no problems with the law. If anything, we'd kill a deer and give them some. You know what I mean? They never mess with us.
Okay.
But
it's, I mean, it looks pretty empty out here, obviously. These parts, especially.
I don't break the law no more.
Yeah.
I don't even drive fast. I don't. It ain't worth it. After getting in trouble and doing the things I done, you know, I smuggled. I was part of our family, and we smuggled millions of pounds of weed. I did 10 years.
No way.
You know?
I
I did 10 years in prison, federal prison. Got my picture in Life magazine.
You did 10 years in prison for smuggling weed?
10 years.
So we heard that story from this morning.
In Copeland.
From Copeland, they were talking about You were running
Man,
drugs.
money was just unbelievable. It's like something off of a TV.
Like
Those
thousands
sacks,
and thousands a
hundreds
week,
of thousands of dollars.
a month.
Oh, a week, a day. We had so much money, man. It was giving it away.
How long did that last for? Those
Oh,
good
5,
times?
6 years.
Okay, and then you went to prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, you probably
That
don't
was
want to
pretty
talk about
neat.
it. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, I went to Eglin Air Force Base. It's like a Boy Scout camp. Work out, gym, no fences. It was pretty neat. I did half of my time there. When I got out, I got busted. I say 10 years. I got busted for a rifle in my truck, and they give me another 5 years. That
Are you
wasn't fun.
serious?
Yeah, that was serious.
Oh, man.
Then I did 5 years in a state prison. That wasn't fun. That Florida state prison.
The federal prisons are way better.
Oh man, come on! That Eglin Air Force Base was like a dream. I mean, if I would have went to state prison the very first time, I'd have never broke another law.
From what you did before to now, this is peaceful now, huh?
Oh, it's great. I do tours in the Big Cypress National Preserve. I love my job.
Steve, what were you saying? We're screwing you up?
Screwing me up. I got shit I got to do. Come on, get on.
All right. Steve's giving us a little ride here.
I got, you know.
I can't be mad at that. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Those people there loved it.
Where were they from?
Yeah, I don't know where they were from. Let's see how much they loved it. Give me a 20.
That's somewhat love it. They're paying on.
That's good. That's nice of them. If they give me $5, it's nice of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. People work hard for their money. I can't.
So this is your full-time gig. This is what you do.
I don't smuggle no more. That's what I do.
Less money, less stress.
A lot less money.
What's it like when you make that much money? What does it do to your head?
Makes you think you're invincible. Makes you think you're invincible. You buy everybody off. When you got that much money, everybody thinks you're the man. They all want to be around you because you got so much money.
Right.
Which is all right. I understand. You know, and I treated people good. I found 10 grand in my truck one day behind the seat. Been close to Christmas. I went out and give it all away. Somebody asked me, said, "Do you still got my rifle?" I said, "I don't know. Let me check and see if I got it 22 Magnum. Let me see. It might be behind the seat." When I flipped the seat up, there was a rolled up paper sack. I said, "What the hell is that?" I opened up. It was $10,000. That and an ounce of cocaine. Good cocaine from Miami, right off the key. So I went and got me a bottle of Crown Royal, went out to Copeland. It used to be the black section and stuff. We'd build a big fire and threw that ounce of cocaine on the tailgate with a bottle of Crown. And I started shanning out that 10 grand to everybody. We had a good time. Man, they had a good Christmas.
You don't do that stuff anymore?
Nope, sir. I don't even drink. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I got a 20-year-old daughter I raised from a baby. I didn't have no girlfriends or nothing because I wanted to raise my daughter.
Oh, that's cool. So you've been clean 20 years?
Oh, longer than that. For the park permit.
Right.
You know, they say.
Can I sit up on this?
Yeah. As long as you are clean for 10 years and you don't have no violent crimes, the park will hire you. A lot of felons work for the park.
Okay, good.
So I was clean. I was over 10 years. I've got my rights restored. I can vote and everything. So this whole road right here, the reason it's built up like this is because it goes into an exploration oil well. The Big Cypress has oil underneath of it. There's 2 or 3 active oil wells right now down towards Dade County. It runs all the way up just south of Immokalee. The oil line does. It's called Sunnyland Oil Field. Runs all the way to Dade County.
Okay.
They've got it piped across the prairies down there. I don't know where the pipeline goes, but it's just crude oil, making tires and roads and stuff like that. Hey, I take y'all for a trip tonight, ride you, but I got to go get my rear end. It's my recovery buggy. I do all the recovery work for the Big Cypress. When somebody comes and gets stuck or something,
Yep.
I got to go get them. And they count on me, you know, and I don't, and that's my recovery buggy. It's a Land Rover rear end, which Land Rovers are made for farming and ranching and stuff like that. So
Tight community out here in the Everglades?
yeah, very tight. Chuckaluski's the main place.
Okay.
That's where it happens.
We went to that shop, that beautiful shop there.
You went to the Smallwood store?
Couple years ago.
That's my cousin's place.
I made a video. She was in it.
Lynn.
Lynn was in the video a couple years
That's
ago.
my cousin. We got the same granddad.
Do you worry at all about this culture going away with this?
It's going away.
It's
I ain't
going
just
away.
worried about it. It's going away.
What do you mean?
It's everything's tightening and up. Can't do this. Can't do that. Can't go here. Can't go there. It's all changing. You can jump off and clock this gate for me if you would.
Yep.
Be careful looking down at the bottom of that gate because we've had a big moccasin down there. I'll wait on you. Be careful. I spent some time with you, brother, but
I appreciate it. This is very cool.
if he's here tomorrow or something,
Nah,
you
I'm
can hang
taking
out
off.
down at the house. You
I
know,
appreciate it. So, Steve, culture's going away. What about
culture's going away, brother.
are
It
the
already
kids?
has.
Are the kids moving out?
Kids are moving out. Ain't nothing for them here. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. There ain't no more old school. Ain't no more old ways.
Well, Steve, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
For those that want to do this and get deep in there and get the great stories from you, the local, how do they find you?
You got to go to Captain Steve's Swamp Buggy Adventures. Call my home number. Leave a message. If I'm not there, I'll call you back. But listen, it's the awesomest thing you've ever done. If you want to spend a few hours, hey, I do nighttime rides. I do snake hunting trips. We'll start a campfire and cook your food.
Oh, that's nice.
Bring all the kids, bring some hot dogs.
Oh,
we'll do
nice.
all that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Well, thanks for
Brother, thank y'all very much.
It's
man.
so cool.
Pleasure to meet you. My son's truck, he got killed 4 years ago.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, like it killed me, dude. You ever watch Josh Gates on Destination Unknown, Destination X? He had a room with 10 people that had died. One of them was dead for 45 minutes in ice water. Every one of them said they didn't want to come back.
Wow.
Every one of them said the same thing. We didn't want to come back. We died. We didn't want to come back. It was so nice and so beautiful that we did not want to come back, that somebody told us that our time wasn't up, that we had to come home. So that makes you feel good, you know, if you lost somebody like me. Jesus, God, is building an army. You know, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. You know, you can see it. I'm not a throwing Christian. I'm a believer, but I believe that God is building an army because I have seen so many people my son's age die. He just lost his best friend, same age.
From what, if you don't mind me
Just from
asking?
all different stuff. My son was killed on a motorcycle. The other one was killed. He had gastrointestinal problems. But I'm just saying, God's building an army. He's building an army with these young, strong people, you know, because it's going to come down to it one day. It's got to. This world can't keep going like it's going. I mean, you got to admit, things ain't looking good. Positive note, be good. Be a good person. Treat people right. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. I don't care if you're on drugs. I don't care if you're an alcoholic. You can get off it all. I've been on it all. I've done it all. I've been a drug addict. I've sold stuff just to buy pain pills. Listen, you can do good. You can do good. And money ain't everything. It ain't about money. It's about enjoying yourself, being good to your family. And I'm being from the heart about that. That's the way I look at it.
Let me make an interesting point here. The only reason, and I'll make a broad statement and a generalization. This couldn't be a black person in Florida, especially, or black person in America, and survive all this. So just wanted to make that point.
And save your things. Like you walk into my living room, I got old things in there, stuff from my kids and pictures all over the walls and old posted signs and stuff, this not gonna be here in 100 years. So yeah.
But the videos will.
Videos will.
Steve, good
All
stuff.
right.
Thank you.
I'll be talking to you.
All right.
Oh, and I also want to make one more point. This is the sort of thing that CT would go, well, oh, that's class. Just, man, we got some dumb motherfuckers. And again, I wonder if they just don't know or they just don't want to know. Nope, this guy wouldn't exist in Florida if he was black.
Steve.
I hope you do good with that video. I really do.
Well, Harrison, thank you, man. Very cool day. Awesome. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Loved it.
Yeah, we met a lot of different people. We unpacked all the different layers. That was the coolest part about it.
And so for people wanting this experience, Harrison's your man.
Yeah.
Harrison can get you in. We did another video a couple years ago onto the water in his boat.
Yeah.
But more these days, you're on land.
Yes. And I'm happy to refer to any boat tours. I have many, a couple friends who are captains and can do that. But as far as knowing the different spots of the Everglades, the history, connecting the dots, meeting all the different personalities that are out here, and as far as getting a lay of the land and getting a true immersion into the Everglades, that's not just a touristy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I really specialize in, personalized to what you're trying to, what you're trying to see and what you're trying to accomplish.
I'm going to leave you have a link of some sort.
I'll leave
that down below.
Website, Instagram, YouTube, all up to a bunch of adventures and just how to, inspire wilderness and get to the different
Get
corners.
in this. The Florida you don't know for the most part. I guarantee 99% of the people haven't been to this part of the state. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on that journey. Until the next one.
All right. Well, doesn't seem like anybody's that interested in the the panel banter. So I'm gonna fold this up, pick up the tent stakes. Might do a show tomorrow. I'll give this let's say 5 minutes. I think the link is pinned. If anybody wants to come up and talk, cool. If not, cool too. Let's see what else is in here. Let's see, we did the I really wanted to watch Yvette Carnell and just couldn't do it.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Just because they say it's legal, that don't make it right. Legality does not equal morality.
One of the things he gave a quote about was, he talked about how black people did well at sports because the rules don't change. There is no way for us to proceed without the law.
That financial freedom was a civil right. That access to capital was a civil right. If you got financial freedom, then you have a much greater chance of attaining the other freedoms. Black people have never had financial freedom. And when we did accumulate it, then they would change the rules and come and burn it down. We have to be unapologetic defenders of black life, black liberty, and black culture. Unapologetic. Because, like you said, They don't think we have the political power. Well, I'll just say this, and I always love Gary using his platform to engage people and educate people. So I want to say publicly what I've told you privately, brother. Thank you for being essential in the liberation of Black people, especially in your home state of Louisiana.
You can't tell here.
Yeah. But to speak directly to the question, you know, two things come to my mind immediately when we talk about what's legal and the law that do not equate to liberation for our people. The first thing really is what Martin Luther King said in the letter from the Birmingham jail. Most people remember the famous quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." But I think equally profound in that letter is when he said, just because they say it's legal, that don't make it right. We have to remember everything Hitler did to the Jews in Germany, they said was legal, but that didn't make it right. They said slavery was legal. He said that didn't make it right. They said segregation was legal. He said that didn't make it right. He said that everything they did to that little Black boy in Money, Mississippi named Emmett Till, they said was legal. But he said that didn't make it right. Legality does not equal morality. And so the concept of equal justice is such an abstract idea that it's elusive to whoever is defining it. I mean, people, the way the courts engage in the intellectual justification of discrimination in America today is baffling at best, is shocking at worst, that they could come up with ways to justify Black people being denied advancement in careers or access to capital, women having to put up with sexual harassment. I mean, it's so many things that they justify that are unjustifiable to moral people, but it happens every day. The reverse of that is this here. If the words are applied on paper as they should be in a moral universe, then the law could lead to liberation. But it's always up to interpretation. And there lies the problem. Even in the book I write, Worse Than a Lie, we talk about how different people can see things right from the same distance, same vantage point, but have a completely different perspective. And that's what I think is the problem. I would defer and let Gary chime in before we go to the second part of your question.
I think, number one, I'm grateful to be in conversation with you. And thank you for the tireless work you do for our people. I think that a lot of times we don't recognize how important it is for us to have people who are students of the law to be able to combat against those who enforce the law on us. And I think that's what is the missing link in a lot of this. It is not just that the law is applied, but it is the enforcement of that said law. Dr. King said, I just want America to be true to what it says on paper. Yes. Right. And if it was true that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, then many of the things that come under those laws, right, the subsidiary laws that get written or changed every legislative session when you've determined that Black folks have liberated themselves and in another way, right? Because every time we get a sense of new liberation, we in a new fight, it seems. Jesse Jackson, I think it's fitting to give homage to him considering he just passed this week. And one of the things he gave a quote about was, he talked about how Black people did well at sports because the rules don't change.
Yeah.
The rules are the same every time. Once we understand the rules, we know how to play the game. In politics, in the law, they change it every legislative session because once people realize I cannot restrict you anymore by this means, then I find a new way to do it. And we change the language, whether it is a shall or a must, right? And giving the latitude or the ability or the inability of us to hold people accountable when they do violate our rights. And I think that is the never ending or never ceasing battle that we end up in. But there is no way for us to proceed without the law.
Yeah. No, that's deep what you said about Brother Jackson, because when you think on so many levels, he was brilliant, because we have to be brilliant. We can't be average or mediocre like our white sisters and brothers. If we're going to be leaders for our people that are going to be acknowledged, we have to be excellent. We have to be thought-provoking. We have to be intellectually superior, just to be able to be acknowledged, where I think they can just be so average and they still are exalted. And so I'm thinking about Reverend Jackson, now that you brought that up, Gary, and the fact that, we are still accepting his transition from this world. I thought Reverend Jackson got it what Dr. King was talking about, the tail end of his life. This notion that economic justice is so critical to the survival of our Black communities. Reverend Jackson understood it, that economic justice was a civil rights, that financial freedom was a civil right, that access to capital was a civil right. And if you got financial freedom, then you have a much greater chance of attaining the other freedoms. If you got financial freedom, you can get education for your children. If you got financial freedom, you can have home ownership. If you got financial freedom, you can have quality health care. But the problem is, so many times throughout the history of this country, Black people have never had financial freedom. And when we did accumulate it, then they would change the rules and come and burn it down, like you said, Garrett.
Kill you, steal your land.
And then change the laws.
Yes, sir.
Like Tulsa didn't give them the insurance.
I was having a conversation with somebody recently and talking about how Black people had 16 to 18 million acres of land post-Reconstruction. And now we own about 4 to 5 million acres of land in this country. And when you process that, all that we've lost, right? The wealth that we've lost in that, and why it's so critical for us to gain on land, why it's so critical for us to have land ownership and to go after these things.
But because I love where you're going there, because I always think 4 acres and a mule, if we got it, what that would mean economically for our people.
To me, the critical pieces of even why they take the history of our people out of schools and things of that nature, they don't want you to understand how much we had acquired, because they want you to see yourself as a slave at every point. And the reality is, the enslaved ancestors that we come from liberated themselves so that every generation of us could be the wildest dreams that we are today. But what we have to recognize, I think, is that every generation has its fight. There's a quote that I heard once before. They said, good times make weak men. Weak men make bad times. Bad times make strong men. Strong men make good times. And I said that wrong. Let me go back. Weak men make hard times. Hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. And what we don't have enough of is strong men like you who are willing to go into any city in America that...
Nope, got it wrong. Good times make weak men. Bad times make strong men. To make it a whole lot less wordy.
Irrespective of if the sheriff is white, Black, if the officers who committed the crime were white, Black, if the individual and the citizens were white or Black, if you have violated the rights of the people according to what the law says, we're going to hold you accountable for that. And I think that we have to recognize that those who went through the hard times of slavery and Jim Crow, they made better times for us. And what we can't do in the better times is let up or relent in a way that allows us to end up back at hard times.
Yeah. And Gary, just to piggyback on what you're saying, when we talk about economic power and freedom, it's symbolic, it's symbiotic on one another, because when you have economic base, a strong economic base for your community, then you don't need others to come and save you or liberate you. You can save yourself. And so it's exactly what everybody from Malcolm X to Marcus Garvey to Patrice Lumumba over in Kenya and, Kwame and Nkrumah over in Ghana, they understood that, hold on, yeah, Black people, we got to own our destiny. We can't have others being able to control the means by which we survive because they're in control. And so education is about trying to be able to think for ourselves. And then once we think for ourselves, we can understand that, hey, we got to be able to control our resources, our community, have a strong economic base so we can give generational wealth to our children so they can have a chance. Like you said, every generation got to come and fight the struggle for themselves. But if you got a strong economic base, then it makes all the difference in the world. There's a reason our Jewish sisters and brothers don't depend on the government to come and save them. Our Asian brothers, they're like, we got our own base,
This is such a bad. This is CT level, Izzy Bands level. No. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I pretty much agree with or disagree with all this, it's all anti-Semitism to me. I don't, we ignore, if Jews were so powerful, what president have we had? All kinds of horrible, unsubstantiated, non-data driven arguments.
The Holocaust Museum, we griping about the African American Museum since, this administration, this current ruling class is saying, well, you can't say things that hurt white people's feelings.
Brian.
And so we won't fund you and everything.
This would probably hurt CT's feelings, but CT is Ben Crump. Ben Crump is making the same arguments that CT does.
Man, Holocaust people said,
we fund ourselves.
We fund ourselves. Keep
your money.
Yeah, keep your money. And that's where we got to get as a people. And we got to be willing to sacrifice. We got way too many billionaires and millionaires that say the African American Museum needs to have the Trump administration to sustain it. And that is the crux of the matter. What are we willing to sacrifice for the greater good of Black people in America?
One of the things that I challenge,
going back to a Du Bois argument, no, we should not have to sacrifice. Do better, sir. Bottom line, and again, this is almost similar to a Shelby Steele argument. No. Stop asking Black people to sacrifice and work harder and twice as hard and all that stuff. Start holding white people accountable. This is where I'd go with this argument. I think it's high time that some white people take accountability for their government, since they want to claim it's a white man's country, well, then why are we so fucked up? And it's not because of the Jews. And by the way, Jews are white. Most Jews, a majority of Jews identify as white. We need to take that into consideration too.
Every room of, I'm a millennial, I'm 40. And
young.
I try to challenge all of my generation to become builders.
Yes, sir.
That we can challenge the institutions all we want to, but if we're not building our own institutions that ensure that there is something lasting for our people, then it's all for naught, right?
Yeah.
That we have got to get to a point where we are doggish about going to get power.
Yeah.
Because if many of us were participating in the Georgia election, right, where Stacey Abrams lost her first election for governor by 40,000 votes, there were 40,000 Black people in Georgia that could have showed up in that election.
Yeah.
And when you ask the question, what does the economic viability of those people look like when the governor is Black? And we don't know that, but the greatest example we have right now is Wes Moore in Maryland. And seeing that one of the first things he did was expunge or pardon all of these folks with these marijuana offenses, right? Yep. Now, you had governors that had been there, 40, 50 governors prior to him, and nobody took an action like this because you were not impacted by the decisions of the law in the same way to be motivated to do that.
And that raises two questions to me. To answer my question, when will Black people be willing to sacrifice for the greater good of Black people? And it's a real radical thought because America wants you to be comfortable and complacent. And that's why young people lead all the revolutions. I know me and Jamal Brown was talking about this, because once you get older, comfortable, you say, well, I need,
you got to consider that mortgage, that car
this
note
job and all this kind of stuff. But man, you'll be so much better off rejecting that and saying, no, we can have this without having to submit to the will of them. And it comes down, I think, Gary, to this here. It comes down to a lack of courage and conviction.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dear friend, Billy Murphy, 84 years young, out of Baltimore. Brilliant Negro, brilliant brother. Billy told me, say, Crump, the reason that I get so excited when I see you on TV, he said, I don't care what the case is, he said, Crump gonna speak truth to power.
That's right.
No matter what the case is. And he said, you see, Brother Crump, we got enough educated African Americans in America today. He said, we got enough articulate African Americans in America today. But what we seem to lack is African Americans who got courage to speak truth to power when they get a seat at the table, when they get in the room, when they get a voice. They rather play it safe.
I think part
than
of
to fight for our people.
I think part of the problem in that is that a leopard don't change its spots, a zebra don't change its stripes. If you elect somebody or put people in the room who were not fighters before you put them in the room, and then expected them to turn around and be a fighter for you, you're never gonna get that. And I think that we've got to be willing to put the people who are willing. We have an image problem. We want a certain type of leader to go in. We want you to have this image. We want you to be a part of this sorority, this fraternity. You had to have done these things in order for us to deem you worthy. And then we have to ask ourselves the question, what separates us from white folk if we are making the determination that you got to check these boxes in order to be the leader for us? And you got to say it in a way that's palatable to white folk, right? There's a generation of Black people who can't make a decision without considering white people. I think that we are at a disadvantage. We are at a disadvantage when I'm making a decision based on what people who don't always have my best interests at heart think about what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And if I make my decisions based on that, I'm losing every time. That's no different than when, and I'm grateful that President Biden was the president at the time that he was, but how he won the nomination over Black candidates or other candidates that was in that race, elderly black people in South Carolina made the calculation, who will white people vote for? They believed that white people would vote for Joe Biden. So elderly black folks voted for Joe Biden. And there goes his pathway towards the Democratic nomination. If we had that same level of thinking, right, we influence the culture and everything.
Okay, let me also point out 2019 in South Carolina, actually it was 2020. The reason Biden won, Bernie Sanders wasn't interested in even talking about reparations. That's why Biden won. And Biden did lip service. So that's a lesson learned. But Bernie probably could have won if he'd won South Carolina. And Bernie didn't want to talk reparations.
Every single thing. They are duplicating us. And if you study enough history, there's not an invention or a cutting edge piece of technology that we were not at the forefront of being the inventor or the creator of that thing. Yet we consistently leverage our capital, our political power, our intellectual power based on what a white society will tell us. And that's why my belief is we need a new Black South. Because if you look at Louisiana, we 34% Black, Georgia's 34% Black, Alabama, Mississippi's 38% Black. The only place the Democratic Party has been successful at taking a U.S. Senate seat from the Republicans is in Georgia, in the South, where Black people make up 30% of the state. The logic in this is if all we need is 51% to win an election, if 35% of the people and 90% of those people vote with you as Black folks, then I only need 20% of white people in any given community in the South to go along with this in order to make this happen. Yet we continue to chase this moderate middle that doesn't really consider all of the mosaic of the people in this country.
And I know our sister Jasmine Crockett is dealing with that right now.
Same thing.
I mean, and we can never ever depend on moderate white people to save us. In fact, Dr. King said they may be more dangerous than the conservative racists.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to know better than the bigot, but you're silent, which allows the bigot to go on his rampage.
And so I think what you were saying, Gary, which was very thought-provoking, a new Black South. That's a deep thought.
And this guy's a lawyer? Really? Interesting.
Carter G. Woodson, we're in Black History Month, the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. You know, Carter G. Woodson said, when you control a man's thinking, you don't have to tell him to stay here or to go yonder. He will go without being told. You don't have to tell him to come through the back door. He will come through it without being told. He said, in fact, if there's no back door, he would cut one for his own special benefit, because as the boys say in the hood when they, you know, trying to be these so-called Mac daddies, I'm in her head. I'm in her head. That's what America has done to Black people. They're in our head.
Yes, sir.
And until we get to the point where we can eradicate ourselves from these psychological shackles, not the ones on our wrists or on our ankles, but the ones that are on our mind, to say that we have to get approval of Mr. Charlie, that we judge our success based on Mr. Charlie's definition of success, that we determine our self-value based on Mr. Charlie. And far too many Black people have bought into that trap. I always think, man, once I become a billionaire, why am I scared? But yeah, you see so many billionaires
still scared.
Yeah, I'm like, Negro, what can they do to you? I mean, you can do whatever you want. You got your own means. What are you afraid of? And that's the problem. They in their mind.
Again, this guy's a lawyer, Tulsa, and I don't need to say anything more.
The Bible says, so a man thinketh, so is he. And I think that is a lived reality for many of us. And when you talk about it getting in our head, and Mr. Charlie, one of the things that I think about you that made me process, if you say, for those who say, you know, we need to do like those in the white community, well, be like the white man. If you really gonna be like the white man, damn it, be like him. He hire his people. He invest in his community. He protect his woman. He vote for his in his best interest for the people who think like him and share his values. He shows up because the billionaire class, they bought their politicians. They bought theirs. Did you buy yours? The question I always ask Black people, somebody bought your politician. Did you do it though? How much money do you have in the pot on them? Because somebody's putting resources there. And if you say that you want to be like the white man so bad, these are the things that he does. He's involved in his politics. He's investing in his community. He's protecting his family. And if you say that those are the things, he's not doing it for other communities though. He's being very intentional about doing that for people who look like him and share his values. And we should not be apologetic about doing the same.
No, I absolutely agree. And you transition on something there about being unapologetic. I think the same way the current folks in power,
yes, sir,
are unapologetic and their white supremacist beliefs. We have to be unapologetic defenders of Black life, Black liberty, and Black culture. Unapologetic. We got to say it with our chest like they said with their chest that they believe white is better. We got to believe Black is better. And we can't be afraid to say that. I know it's a radical thought. They call me Black America's Attorney General, and I make it a point. And I sometimes get in trouble by it, get a lot of death threats for it, but that's okay. I get on TV and they be saying, well, why don't you say minority people of color? I said, I would say that, but I just want to first say Black.
I'm Black before anything else.
I don't want to be afraid to say Black people. Everybody else dance around the word. Oh, you're controversial when you say Black or whatever. No. You're dealing with a man who means what he says what he means, and the fact that even when you're talking about the Asian anti-hate crime bill and everything, and they said, oh, well, they did it for us already and everything. But what is the problem if they already did it? Just acknowledge the Black hate crime bill. You know, what they said it for the Asians. They said it for the Jews.
They do it for everybody.
Why can't they say it for the Black people? Because, like you said, they don't think we have the political power and wherewithal to hold people accountable. And I know our time is running short, but like we was talking about the billionaires and the white man and so forth, what brothers can do that's very practical. We can hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, once a month, we got to get together. We got to all have lunch or dinner. Our frat brothers, sorority sister, deacons in the church, Masons, co-workers, homeboys.
So his solution is fucking have lunch? Wow.
Whatever. Sit down and say, did you spend 50% of your money this month with Black businesses? And we got to be intentional about it. And we got to be honest about it. I'm looking at myself in the mirror too. What did you do, Ben Crump, to give at least 50% of your money to your own? Because, you know, this day, the Jewish sisters and brothers, 17 days in their community before it go out.
That's right.
Asians, 21 days, their dollar stay in their community before it go out. They said Black people, 17 minutes.
You know, I have kept a record every year now. I keep up with how much money I spend with Black people every year in order to be intentional about it, because I want to ensure that I increase that number every year and that I'm not being casual about something that I say is important to me. So that's something that I started 5 or 6 years ago. The other thing is, I think that we have to really be cognizant of this understanding. Before my parents, when they conceived me, before they knew if I was going to be a boy or a girl, before they knew if I was going to be a Christian, before they knew if I had any developmental delays or anything else, the first thing my parents knew about me, he's going to be Black. And I think that one of the things that we've allowed society to introduce to us is all of the things we pick up after Black. I pick all these other things up after Black. We as Black people, we then segregate ourselves as the Black man and the Black woman, the straight Black person, the gay Black person, the trans Black person, the wealthy Black person, the poor Black person. But the reality is, all that it comes down to is you Black.
Yep.
Before you added on every other layer of that, when your mom and your daddy conceived you, you was Black. Yep. And America didn't need any other condition on you besides being Black.
Yep.
And if you understand that, then you have a fundamental responsibility to protect and preserve your Blackness because nobody else will.
Yeah, and I don't know if time is running, but we own to something, Gary, in this sense here. That is a profound thought. Yeah, at the first beginning, at the very most basic common denominator we have is we're Black people. And then everything else comes after that. And when you go back to economics, if everybody say, we're going to build a strong Black economic community, and after we build that community up, then we can have our doctors to make sure we can have good health care, which is essential because you're easier to control if you're eating bad food, not exercising. And we got to always talk about that because me and Reverend Al always talk about too many sisters and brothers checking out way too early.
I'm 90 pounds down now.
And we can't blame the white man because they ain't making us put stuff in our mouth. What they are doing, like Goody Mob said, they made this stuff affordable. And say that's why you eat the super value meal and so forth that is terrible for you. But then when we got a strong Black economic community, then we don't have to worry about whether Governor DeSantis in Florida, Abbott in Texas, and your crazy man in Louisiana, Landry, if they are saying we're going to teach Black kids in school, well, we can own our own libraries, our own bookstores, and we can teach ourselves and develop our children. Then when you start talking about your neighborhood and redlining and so forth, we did okay in segregation. We can't be ashamed to live in our own communities. I'm ashamed right now because I had to go live in a white community only because we had to have gated securities. I vow that, and I told my wife, baby, we going to have to be intentional of going to find a Black community, got gated neighborhoods and so forth, because I worry about their safety. You know, I'm probably a little casual with my safety because I'm not afraid. I refuse to live in fear. And when we get these crazy death threats and everything, I worry about my wife and daughter and my family. And that's why you do certain things for their preservation. But they got to be some of us willing to be Harriet Tubman and run to the front line and say, I can't justify me doing good while you doing bad. I can't justify me being free and you being enslaved. And as Harriet said, when they asked her that question, why do you keep going back into slavery and risking your life and all that hell while you free? She said, I can't justify me being free and others being enslaved. And she said, when you start trying to do so, you sound just like the slave master.
That's the truth.
Honor being with you, man.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, I guess I will just go ahead and fold.
Something that everyone would want and that the direction would still.
That's the next one there, but we're going to wait. So it is after 11:30. Looks like no one's coming up here. So let's pull up these tent stakes. So good to see you all. It's my time especially. And Kimmy and Brian and everyone else. I might do a show tomorrow, might not. I still have a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about or look at and show. But we shall see.
And love you, dog, too.